Good morning. So our topic for today is all about laws of exponent. We are having this video lesson because laws of exponent is the prerequisite of exponential function, exponential equation, and exponential inequality. So there are 7 laws of exponent, namely product of powers, quotient of powers, power of a power, power of product, power of a quotient, zero exponent rule, and negative exponent rule. So the first law of exponent is what we know as the product of powers. So product of powers applies when we multiply two bases which are the same. So all you have to do is you write the base and add the exponent. For example, we have here a raised to m multiplied by a raised to n since they have the same base which is a. So you rewrite a, then you just add the exponent m plus n. So we have 3 examples. First example is that x cubed multiplied by x raised to 8 is equal to x raised to 3 plus 8. So copy the base, then add the exponent. Therefore, our final answer is x raised to 11. Next, we have 2 raised to 4 multiplied by 2 squared. So copy the base 2, then just add the exponent, that is 4 plus 2. So therefore, we have 2 raised to 6. So is this the final answer, 2 raised to 6? So not yet. We still have to simplify it. So 2 raised to 6 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So you multiply 2 to itself 6 times. So we have 2 times 2 is 4, multiplied by 2 is 8, multiplied by 2 is 16, multiplied by 2, that's 32, and lastly, multiplied by 2 is equal to 64. So 2 raised to 6 is equal to 64. Next, we have x raised to 2, y multiplied by x cubed, y raised to 4. So this time around, we have two bases, but so just rewrite again. Just rewrite the base, then add the exponent. So we have x raised to 2 plus 3 multiplied by y raised to 1 plus 4. So this variable has an exponent of 1. That is why that is y raised to 1 plus 4. So we have x raised to 5, y raised to 5. So the second law of exponent is the quotient of powers. So quotient of powers applies when you divide two bases which are the same. So all you have to do is to rewrite the base, then subtract the exponent. In this example, we have a base a, then just subtract the exponent in the numerator to the exponent in the denominator. So we have a raised to m minus n. So again, we have 3 examples here. First example is x raised to 5 all over x raised to 2. So just copy the base x, then subtract the exponent in the numerator to the exponent in the denominator. So we have x raised to 5 minus 2. So therefore, our final answer is x raised to 3. Next, we have x 3 raised to 5 over 3 cubed. So copy the base again, then subtract the exponent in the numerator to the exponent in the denominator. So we have 5 minus 3. Therefore, our final answer, or not yet, that is 3 squared. So this is not yet the final answer. So what is 3 squared? That is 3 times 3. And 3 times 3 is equal to 9. So 9 is our final answer. Next, we have x squared y raised to 5 over x y raised to 3. So we have x raised to 2 minus 1 multiplied by y raised to 5 minus 3. So therefore, our final answer is xy raised to 2. So that's the quotient of a power. What if naman po, baliktad naman? So we have, for example, x raised to 5 over x raised to 7. So that is x, copy the base again, then subtract uh, the numerator, exponent the numerator to the exponent in the denominator. So we have x raised to 5 minus 7, and that is x raised to negative 2. And as I've said a while ago, we have a negative exponent rule. So in negative exponent rule, if you have a negative exponent, all you have to do to make the negative exponent positive is that you get the reciprocal of the base. So the reciprocal of x is 1 over x, right? So we have 1 over x raised to positive 2. Or you can answer this by subtracting the larger exponent to the smaller exponent. So that is 7 minus 5. That is 7 minus 5, which is equal to 2. And then you just put the answer, which is x raised to 2, to the exponent with bigger or larger number. So in this case, it is in the denominator. So again, our final answer is 1 over x raised to 2. So the next one is the power of a power law. So it is a base which has a exponent and another exponent. So that is it is a power to another power. So all you have to do is to rewrite the base and multiply the exponents. So we have a raised to m times n. In this example, so we have again 3 examples. So just copy the base x, then multiply the two exponents, which is 3 and 2. So therefore, our final answer is x raised to 6. Letter B. So that is, we have 3 raised to 2 times 4. So we have 3 raised to 8. And 3 raised to 8 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 and times 3. So 3 will be multiplied by 3 8 times because that is 3 raised to 8. And our final answer is 6,561. So next, we have z raised to 5 raised to 2. So just copy the base, then multiply the exponents. So we have z multiplied by 5 times 2. Therefore, our final answer is z raised to 10. That is the power of a power law. Next one is the power of a product law. It is just the same in the power of a power law, but this time around, the only difference is that there is many variables or a variable and a coefficient inside the parenthesis, and yung naka-parenthesis na yon is naka-raise sa exponent. So all you have to do is to distribute or apply distributive property of multiplication to the exponent outside the parenthesis and the exponent inside the parenthesis of each variable or numerical coefficient. So this format, so we have a times b or ab raised to m. So we have, since a is raised to 1, of course, and b is also raised to 1, so that is 1 times m. So that would give us a raised to m times b raised to m. So we have examples here. So the first example is that uh, 2a is raised to 3. So that would give us 2 raised to 3 times a raised to 3. So 2 will also be raised to 3 because nandun siya sa loob ng open and close parenthesis. So therefore, 2 times 2 times 2 would give us 8. A cube will give us a cube, of course. So our final answer is 8a cubed. Next, we have 6x cubed, open and close parenthesis, raised to 2. So we have 6 squared times x cubed squared. So that is applying power of product, and then we apply power of a power law by multiplying the exponent inside and outside the parenthesis. So we have 6 raised to 1 raised to 2, that is 6 raised to 2, and 6 raised to 2 is equal to 36. Then x raised to 3 raised to 2, that is 3 times 2, that is x raised to 6. Therefore, our final answer is 36x raised to 6. Next one is the power of a quotient. It is just the same as the power of a product, but this time around, imbes na multiplication siya, is we have division. So a over b raised to n. So since naka-open and close parenthesis sila and naka-raise sila uh, on a certain exponent, so we multiply the exponent to the exponent inside. So we have a raised to n over b raised to n. So we have two examples here. To make it clear, let's have example number 1. So we have x squared over y raised to 4. So we distribute. So this is 4 na. Yan. So we distribute raised to 4, the exponent outside the parenthesis, to the numerator and the denominator. So we have x raised to 2 raised to 4 over y raised to 4. So applying again the power of a power law. So we have x multiplied by, copy the base. So x multiplied by 2 times 4. So we have 8 all over. So y is raised to 1. So that is 1 times 4. So we have y raised to 4. So our final answer is x raised to 8 over y raised to 4. Another example, what if we have a numerical coefficient and a variable? So again, just like in the power of a product law, we distribute the exponent outside to the exponent inside. So we have 2x raised to 3 all over 3y squared raised to 3. So again, applying distributive or power of a power law, 2 is raised to 1. So that is 2 raised to 3 times x raised to 3 all over 3 raised to 3 multiplied by y squared raised to 3. Then we apply power of a power law. So we have 2 raised to 3. And 2 raised to 3 is also equal to 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 8. X cubed all over 3 times 3 times 3, that is 27. And y squared raised to 3 is, so applying power of a power law, we multiply exponent inside to the exponent outside. So 2 times 3 will give us 6. Therefore, our final answer is 8x cubed all over 27 y raised to 6. That is power of a quotient. So is this already, in its simplest form? So meron bang or pwede ba nating i-divide pa or i-simplify pa to? Yung 8 and 27, do they have a common factor? So, wala na po. Therefore, again, this is our final answer. But, kapag may simplified or may common factor pa yung dalawang numerical coefficient, we can still express it in simplest form. So, second to the last law of exponent is the zero exponent rule. I don't know if you're aware, but lagi ko itong binabanggit sa class that the zero exponent rule, any base raised to zero or any number, any variable raised to zero is always equal to 1. But take note that a or the base should not be equal to 0. So a raised to 0 is always equal to 1. So we have three examples here. We have y raised to 0. Since it is raised to 0, therefore the answer is 1. Another example, we have 6 raised to 0. So that is also equal to 1. And last number, we have 7a cubed all over b raised to 0. So no need to compute, no need to distribute 0 to each, or no need to apply power of quotient and power of a power law, since we already know that it is raised to 0, therefore we can conclude that it is equal to 1. Another example, for example, we have 1 million raised to 0, even though kahit anong number pa yan, kahit gaano kataas pa yung exponent ng isang variable, if naka-raise siya sa 0, that is or will always be equal to 1. That is zero exponent rule. So the last law is the negative exponent rule. I have already discussed it sa pangalawang rule, I think. So negative exponent rule, kapag may nakita kayong negative na exponent, to make it positive, you just flip it into a reciprocal. For example, we have a raised to negative n. So to make negative n, the exponent, positive, we just get the reciprocal of a, which is a 1 over a. Then, that exponent will become positive. Imbis na negative siya, since na reciprocal na natin or na flip na natin, we have an answer of a 1 over a raised to n, where a should not be equal to 0. Why? Because it will make the number undefined. Because sabi ko nga, kapag 0 yung denominator, hindi siya pwede. Our answer will be undefined. So we have examples here, 3 examples. So first one is x raised to negative 4. To make it positive, just get the reciprocal of x raised to negative 4. That would be, so before getting the reciprocal, para hindi malito yung iba, x raised to negative 4 is also equal to x raised to negative 4 over 1, right? So to get the reciprocal, pagbabalik na rin lang yung numerator magiging denominator and yung denominator magiging numerator. That would give us 1 over x raised to positive 4. So, pansinin nyo, nag-reciprocal lang sila, nagpalit yung denominator, naging numerator, which is 1. And yung numerator, napunta sa denominator. And then, yung negative exponent, naging positive na siya. Therefore, our final answer is 1 over x raised to 4. Another example, we have 2x raised to negative 1. So, i-simplify muna natin. So, that is also equal to 2 times x raised to negative 1 over 1. Bakit po yung 2, nakahiwalay siya? Pwede namang ilagay din dito sa numerator, no? Pwede naman din siyang ilagay sa numerator, dito sa loob sa taas, and then maalis na to, syempre. Or pwede nyo rin siyang hiwalayin, bahala kayo. Nasa inyo yun, kung saan kayo mas tablet. And then, to make negative 1, x, kasi yung naka-raise lang po dito, sa letter B, since wala siyang open and close parentheses, therefore, naka-raise lang siya sa, yung negative 1, naka-raise lang siya sa x. But, if may open and close parentheses siya, damay na pati yung numerical coefficient na 2, naka-raise sa negative 1. But since wala siyang open and close parentheses, therefore, yung negative 1 is may exponent lang doon is yung x. So, therefore, you get the reciprocal of x raised to negative 1 over 1. So, we have 1 over x. So, bakit wala na yung exponent na 1? Kasi na-omit din yan, no? Just like in the numerical coefficient, we have x. For example, we have a variable pala. We have a variable x and automatically, meron siyang numerical coefficient na 1. Na-omit lang siya. So, therefore, we have 2 times 1 over x, which is also equal to 2 over x. So, another example, ito naman yung sinasabi ko kanina, letter C. Paano kung naka-open and close parenthesis siya? So, yung x lang ba? Kung sa letter B, yung x lang yung kinuhanan ng reciprocal, since sa letter C is naka-open and close parenthesis siya, this time around, pati yung 3, damay siya sa pagkuha ng, or pag-flip, no? So, we have 3x raised to negative 2 all over 1, and then we get the reciprocal, that is 1 over 3x raised to 2. Ayun, naging positive na yung negative exponent natin. And then, tapos na ba doon? Then, we apply power of a product. So, we have 1 over 3 raised to 2, x raised to 2. And then, we apply power of a power law. So, we have 1 over, what is 3 raised to 3? That is 9. And x squared is x squared. So, our final answer is 1 over 9x squared. So, that is the negative exponent rule.